from the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 10, powered by Nourish.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the drop of a hat, there is an attempt to malign our forces, undermine their work, and question, can you believe it, national security. And that is exactly what happened today when claims of the abduction of a 17-year-old by the PLA were politicized for electoral gain. Was he abducted? Has the Chinese army entered India? What a fanciful claim. Or did he stray across the line? Here's the development, and then the larger debate.
On the Arunachal Pradesh Formation Day, major questions are being raised about what happened to a 17-year-old in the Upper Siang region.
While BJP MP Tapir Gao said Miram Taron, the 17-year-old, was abducted by the PLA in Zero village, close to the border with China, military establishment sources have told Republic TV that he may have actually gone astray, adding that they have touched base with the PLA, contact has been made, and a request made to locate and return Miram Taron as per established procedures.
But even before there is clarity, the attempt to diminish our forces for political gain has begun.
It's unfortunate and it's a tragedy that the highest forum of Indian democracy has not been able to discuss or has been actively subverted from discussing the situation on the border with China.
My only concern is that the boy should be returned back safe and sound. We have already had issues of the last issue in Nacho.
India has repeatedly asserted that Arunachal Pradesh is part of India's sovereign territory.
Calling Tuting as Taudang or river Shiom as Shiyuemu does not alter the fact that Arunachal Pradesh has always been and will always remain an inalienable part of India.
Politics over national security must be rejected.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this particular debate on China kidnap, Sardar R.P. Singh of the BJP, General G.D. Bakshi, General Dhruv Katoch, we have Ninon Ering, former Union Minister and MLA of the Congress, G. Devarajan, Secretary of the Central Committee of the All India Forward Bloc, Vivek Srivastav, and Sajjad Hussain Kargil, who is a member of the Kargil Democratic Alliance. The subject at hand is this, I reiterate, a 17-year-old boy. Mr. Ering, I'll start with you. A 17-year-old boy from Arunachal Pradesh, Upper Siang district. We got to know in a tweet by Arunachal MP Tapir Gao. He said that he has been abducted by the Chinese. And quickly, the lobby began saying, I think Rahul Gandhi started saying that the PLA has entered India and abducted the 17-year-old. Now, we don't know about this case yet. We don't know whether it's an abduction or a straying. Right? I personally feel to come to huge conclusions on the basis of little information is dangerous. What do you think?
Good evening, Arnab, and all the other group members. I'm pleased that when there is an issue of on the Indo-China border, Arunachal Pradesh is always is a bone of contention. The question you have asked that my leaders, the Congress, I have, made it into a political game. I won't agree with you, Arnab, because let us be very frank. Let it be the UPA, let it be the NDA, but whatever the concern is of Arunachal Pradesh, we only want this boy back. There was an issue of the last 5 boys which had been abducted in Nacho in the upper Subansiri district. But now here the case, as you are saying, that he may have gone astray or he had lost his way, but that is a wrong. What I will completely, even I am from the Congress, but when Tapirgaon says that he has been abducted from our own area, that is true, because last time also, as you had taken up this case, because you are always taking up the cases of Arunachal Pradesh, and we are very grateful to you. Last time also, when the case of abduction was there, or the incursion was there, you must have seen that this is a place, they are from Jido. Jido is not near the border. They are just beside Tuting. But they had gone to Bising. Bising is the place where the Chinese had incursion was there, and they had constructed roads way back about 2-3 years back. So that time also it was covered. But now this boy was within our own area in Bising village.
No, what are you saying? What are you saying? Are you Mr. Herring? Are you saying? If you're saying so, you say it, and then we'll have a very serious debate. Are you saying?
Yes.
You see, Mr. Singh, and don't mind, Mr. Herring. I first of all thank you. We always pick up issues of the Northeast with great alacrity on the channel.
Thank you.
What Mr. Ninod Herring is trying to say is that the People's Liberation Army of China has entered India and is walking around in India and picking up a 17-year-old boy to teach India a lesson. Now, I find that impossible to believe. I further believe that Mr. Herring should then substantiate this claim. He should substantiate the claim beyond just speculation. I want your political opponent to respond first. Mr. Singh.
Well, on this issue, there is nothing like political opponent as far with the Congress party. Let me go through what Bureau of the Defense has to say on this. They said that we are taking up this issue with the Chinese army, and then they are hopeful that the boy will return soon. I mean, that's the official Twitter handle of the Defense Ministry.
No, but has he been abducted, or has he been abducted inside Indian territory, or did he stray across? We have a right to know.
I mean, the Bureau says that there's nothing like abduction. They say that it's reportedly being captured.
But the person who tweeted, is a BJP person.
Can.
So
that's what I said. He is a BJP member of parliament. He can also go wrong. What's wrong?
He can go wrong.
There's no politics in this.
Okay.
There can be no politics in this. I'm going by what the official statement of the PRO. Give me a second, Arnab. I'm going by the official statement of the PRO.
See, he is an MP from Arunachal East.
Arunachal Pradesh.
Mr. Singh, please listen to me now. He is an MP from Arunachal East, and he also discussed it with the Home Minister. He categorically came, he made an official press statement, and he said an abduction has taken place.
Do you want me
So now don't try to brush the dirt under the carpet.
Do you want me to say that Indian
Let's have a
Defense Ministry
clean
is wrong?
house. Let's not.
Are you saying Indian Defense Ministry is wrong? Are you challenging the Indian Defense Ministry? Are you challenging the Indian Defense?
Yes.
No. Are you challenging the army of the country?
You are trying to brush the dirt under the carpet, and you are not trying to face the problem head on. That is your problem.
No, you will always bang your tail for Chinese. Anything with us China.
Okay, one point.
We know all about you. You will do anything for China. I mean,
okay, Sardar RP Singh.
I'm going by the official statement.
What do you know about me? I am an Indian. I love my country and I stand for my nation.
Sir, we know how much you love India. We all know how much.
Mr. Vivek Srivastava, Mr. Srivastava, before I get in General Bakshi on the debate, I agree with your first assertion that you are an Indian. Your second assertion was that I love my country, which I cannot accept. And for your third assertion was that I will always stand up for the country, which I also question.
I still love my country.
No. Your first is right. Your second and third are not factually correct. Now the point is, General Bakshi, on a serious note, please. I began the program today by saying you may not like Modi, but don't have to hate India.
To handle China.
Can I say something? Mr. Srivastava, I'm inviting General Bakshi, but I'll say this, viewers, that General Bakshi will agree and Mr. Ering will agree that in border regions, straying incidents are very common. People stray, youth stray, men, women stray, and they come back. When they stray, they are caught, then they are released. April 2020, a 21-year-old Arunachali youth strays into Chinese territory in search of herbs, I think. And he comes back.
Yes.
The other incident which Mr. Ering spoke about, General Bakshi, was September 2020. I remember we reported it. 5 young boys from Arunachal went missing. Mr. Ering, who's on the right-hand side of the screen, he said it's an abduction by PLA. Even then you said it. But the superintendent of police says it is common for people to stray. Please don't tell the people of India the Chinese army has entered, taken a net, caught a 17-year-old and taken him back. That's a story you should not put out. General Bakshi, please. Mr. Ering is otherwise very responsible. I am fond of him. But I think there needs to be some caution here.
You know, Arnab, I have umpteen years of experience in Arunachal. I have served in Sikkim and Ladakh, Kargil, all these mountainous areas. Normally, our experience has been that, especially when people are hunting close to the border, you know, they go for small game and all that, and in the excitement of chasing that game, sometimes you do stray onto the other side. Yes. There is no border pillars, no clear demarcation of the land. Sometimes when you are going picking herbs or, you know, things like that, you do tend to stray across. These strayings happen. If you get too deep into the other side, they apprehend you.
Yeah.
But usually they return you within a couple of days when they realize it is a mistake. The biggest shock we had was when I was serving on the Arunachal border. When we were there, used to be a brigade major there then. One of our Assam rifle patrols had, I think, because of bad weather, crossed the line of actual control, the international border there rather. They were apprehended, they were brutally tortured. When we got the bodies back, we were horrified. There were knife marks on the soles of their feet, which is the worst Chinese torture. You know, they take a knife and they make lines on the soles of your feet. You can imagine how painful that could be, and all those boys were killed. And then, of course, we had to issue very stern warnings. Now, I would rather, you know, on the law of averages, imagine that this is straying across the border. I can't imagine that it is so easy for the Chinese to walk around our areas and just abduct kids and carry them across. It's very difficult to believe, because I know for a fact how alert the boys are and how these things can be detected. I do think personally, I would be surprised if it was otherwise. I have full respect for the representative of the people from Arunachal. The people of Arunachal are very brave. They are the proudest Indians. Don't forget, they were the first to ban Chinese goods.
Yeah.
They had refused that we will not buy any Chinese good, and that was good about a decade back before all these problems started. So the people of Arunachal are deeply patriotic, highly motivated, and I would give credence to what they are saying. But in the instant case, going by what has appeared in the media, one is inclined to think that it is a straying case.
No, so why are we building this narrative? And I want to ask
the boy when he is returned, and we will have to put pressure on the Chinese.
No, we will put pressure, and the young man will come back. We all want Miram Taron to come back safe. My question is an extension of what I said in the first debate. See, Mr. Devarajan, today, pictures on the screen, viewers, of 17-year-old Miram Taron, right? Now, he's apparently been detained or abducted. He's from Arunachal Pradesh, Upper Siang. And the Congress party, some political parties are saying this proves that the Prime Minister has failed to protect the people of the country. if you look at the historical example, Mr. Devarajan, these examples happen all the time. When people stray too close, they are held. But it is important for us not to do politics over it, you see. Mr. Devarajan, I want you to come into the debate with General Dhruv Katoch.
I do agree, Arnab. We should not play politics on these very sensitive issues. And particularly, we know that from Ladakh to Arunachal Pradesh, there is a border between India and China. And this what happened in this boy, 17 years old boy, it is happening always there. And we have enough experience also.
Yeah.
And you have rightly pointed out in 2020 that the September incident, 5 people have been strayed in and they have been given, they have been released. They came back. So it is happening there. Yes. And this time also, nobody knows what happened. And only this BJP MP from that area, he only tweeted that it has been abducted by People's Liberation Army of China. And there is no evidence at all. And our border security force and our military, our people are also been deployed there. And General Bakshi definitely will agree with me. There are both the side, from Chinese side and Indian side, there are military presence there. And I was told that near about 50 to 60,000 militaries have been deployed in the total border areas.
Yes.
So I don't think that somebody from China came and abducted this boy and go.
Then why is that being pushed? Why is this theory being pushed? Because my concern is, you see, Mr. Devarajan, China has a nefarious anti-India design, an anti-India plot, and we don't need to be constantly aiding and abetting them. All they do is information warfare, propaganda warfare. They recently put out a video with actors with guns saying it was shot in Galwan. Then we showed that this was actually made by a film production crew. It was not shot in Galwan. But for 2 days, Rahul Gandhi went berserk saying Chinese have entered. They are here. They're going to take our land. They almost as if walked into his house. This narrative is created. I'm only asking you here, Mr. Devarajan, you are taking a very mature line. I respect that. You're not taking a political line. I respect that. But is it not necessary for everyone to stop using these incidents to create this narrative that the Chinese are here and Modi compromised? Modi allowed the Chinese in, which is not the case.
I don't think that whether it is Modi or Rahul Gandhi or any Indian citizen can compromise with any of our neighbor or any other country. We cannot compromise on our own.
No, but Rahul is constantly tweeting, Mr. Devarajan. One day he tweets, China is here, they are going to stay on our land.
No, I read it. I read Rahul Gandhi's tweet also. I read it and I discussed also with some of my friends. And see what he was trying to say that we will not bow down and we will.
No, he's not saying that. No, he's not saying that. He's saying he's calling the Prime Minister a coward. No, he's not saying that. I'll get General Dhruv Katoch in on this.
I'm coming to that point. No, Arnab, I'm coming to that point. He also mentioned that. Yes, why Prime Minister is keeping a silence. That is
no, he didn't say that. He didn't say why Prime Minister is silent. You see what has happened.
That is a meaning.
No. You see, Mr. Devarajan, I'll ask you one thing. First of all, a 17-year-old has strayed, gone over, whatever, he's with the PLA today, he'll be brought back tomorrow. But would the Chinese have done this? My question is to General Dhruv Katoch. Had a Chinese strayed over, we would have held him for a while, we would have given him back.
Of course.
But would Chinese politicians have started, Indians have come in, they've taken away our people? No. I feel that's where we are making a big mistake. Yeah.
Generally not.
Thank you, Arnab. Arnab, I wanted to say just 2 points. We are 1.4 billion Indians. And along the country, something will go wrong somewhere. If only the Prime Minister is responsible, then I think most of us as the 1.4 billion are not doing our job. Here we have got the Indo-Tibetan Border Police, we have got the Indian Army. If something goes wrong on the LAC, we are responsible. And all blames cannot simply go to one man. There are other people also. This is one. Number two, I think it is important to understand the terrain in that area. If somebody has actually gone and studied the Google Earth images and the maps, the forwardmost post of India, when you're looking at the Brahmaputra River, the Siang, When it enters, it is the Sangpo. When it enters India, it becomes the Siang and later becomes the Brahmaputra. It's the same river. Less than 800 meters from the line of actual control, we have the ITBP post. One. Just south of that is the Jelling village. All this is very clearly marked on the Google Earth images. Now, for a Chinese to come in and abduct a person at that close proximity, to me, it doesn't really make sense. In my own experience, as General Bakshi has also very rightly pointed out, we do get lost in the mountains, right? You're walking in the hills, you're going up, even with maps, with proper systems, you tend to actually lose your way. So here for a young boy who's going out on a hunting shoot or something to cross something which they don't even consider as an LAC, well, I think it's absolutely normal. And it just so happened that the Chinese happened to be on the other side, they would have taken him. I think these things will happen. We need to be very circumspect about what we say. It is very important. But firstly, please speak based on facts. And this is what I've told you. These are the facts. They can be checked by any person getting onto the Google Earth images and checking it for himself.
Yes.
You have the Siang River. It goes into it. Right? There is no road on the other side as far as Siang is concerned. Obviously, there is something I won't talk about Subansiri, that is different. But when you study the Siang River, please also understand that this is the place where the Brahmaputra or the Sangpo takes that very famous U-turn around the Namcha Barwa, right? And when it takes the U-turn and then it enters India, for any sort of Chinese to sort of start entering into Indian territory, I think they are putting themselves at great risk. It is not something which the Chinese would like to do, and it doesn't really make sense to me that they would do something as foolish as that. So I would rather go with the theory that a boy has crossed over. He has crossed over. It happens all the time. And these are very difficult mountains. But I would also like to tell you, in Jammu and Kashmir, where we have a very, very heavy deployment and where we have a fence, even there people tend to cross over. So this is not something which I think should really upset people that they've crossed over. But as very rightly said by everybody, we will get him back. Yeah. And this I've got absolutely no doubt. Now it becomes political. We have got a boy there. The army has already written a note. We will get him back. So within the next 48 hours or later 72 hours, that boy will be back with us. Let there be no doubts.
And on that, I want to go to Sajjad Hussain Kargil also once before I end with Ninon Ering. Mr. Kargil, you're watching this. You're a member of the Kargil Democratic Alliance. You're joining me from Kargil, Ladakh today. I just like your take on this. I personally believe that when it comes to dealing with China, we need to be very mature and not knee-jerk. You know, we don't need to look upon the China factor to be a factor which can embarrass the BJP. Because when it comes to China, we cannot be BJP or left. In fact, I would like to applaud the line of Mr. Devarajan today, who's on the Central Committee of the All India Forward Bloc. He has shown that, you know, a person who's a hardcore leftist takes a nationalist line on issues like this. And Vivek, you should learn from him. But I'd like to hear from Sajjad Hussain Kargil what he thinks about it. No, you need to learn from him.
No, you need.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah, Mr. Kargil.
We may have differences. We may have difference of opinion. But when it comes to border or our international politics or our foreign policy or border issue, we should think as a nation. We should act as a nation, and we should not politicize any issue. This trade issue is common in Ladakh or in Jammu and Kashmir or in Arunachal side. In every border area, this is normal. But the main issue we say here is that government does not have any clear policy with regard to China. Unfortunately, despite of 20 martyrs in Galwan, our Prime Minister has said, "Nahi koi ghusa hai, nahi kisi ne hamari zameen li hai." Then why we talking with China? हमने 14 राउंड जो नेगोशिएशन चाइना से किए हैं and the 14th round has failed, unfortunately. हम ये सब क्यों कर रहे हैं? if China is not intruded, अगर China हमारी जमीन में नहीं घुसा है, that is the biggest question, and the government should come with clear policy, clear agenda. We have military will, but unfortunately our government does not have political will to deal with China. That is the problem.
Mr. Kargil, I will let RP Singh respond to you, but can I say one thing to you? Can I say one thing to you? You are asking these questions. You also, Mr. Kargil, should ask why Rahul Gandhi has been pushing reports of Chinese claims of building villages inside Bhutan while saying that the Indian government has surrendered our land and is now jeopardizing our close neighbors in inaction in pushing back China. At whose interest is Rahul Gandhi enabling China? Why is Rahul Gandhi casting aspersions on the Indian Army's capability? I asked Mr. Kargil, I'm not even talking to you, I'm ignoring you, but you're talking to me. Don't talk to me when I'm ignoring you. I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking to a more reasonable man called Sajjad Hussain Kargil. And I am asking you, I'm asking you, Mr. Kargil. Mr. Kargil, I'm asking you. Mr. Kargil, my question to you is, Mr. Kargil, is this. Please tell me, have you forgotten who compromised? Why don't you ask? Was it under the UPA that 44 PLA soldiers were found to have set up tents and shelters 3 kilometers inside Indian territory in the Asafila area of Arunachal Pradesh?
40 kilometers, report by Samson and then NSA.
No.
They will not refer to that.
I'll say it further.
Defend Congress here. I'm not here to defend Congress.
You're not, but I'll tell you what happens. Yeah. Mr. Kargil, I'll tell you one thing. Fact of the matter is, and I'll just take 30 seconds. You see, the Congress compromised India's national security, our borders and China. That is why in 2013 there were reports, General Bakshi will confirm, that the PLA had transgressed into Arunachal Pradesh by coming in, in eastern Arunachal. They were forced to beat back only when the Indian army rushed reinforcements. Don't make me open my mouth. After this, when Narendra Modi became Prime Minister, he has increased the pace of infrastructure developments in Arunachal Pradesh. Even Mr. Ering will confirm. The 700 crore Sela Tunnel project in Arunachal Pradesh should be completed by June this year. All this makes a difference. Defense infrastructure. Am I wrong, Mr. Ering?
No.
Am I wrong? Road construction, am I wrong?
Don't forget that. No. Dr. Hamara Manmohan Singh also had given a 20,000 crore project for the roads. Huh?
No.
Whatever the government is,
irrespective of the government.
And we are grateful. We are grateful.
Mr. Ering is saying, I can't hear more than one. Mr. Ering and RP.
To build up roads. Mr. Hanson is on record in the parliament that we don't have money to build up the roads and infrastructure on our side of the border. And also, I can appreciate that Rahul Gandhi, I am saying on record, is on payroll of the China. But this gentleman sitting next to you from left party is there doing whatever service he can do without getting paid. He's doing it ideologically. But that man is being paid.
I would like to say, Mr. RP Singh, Mr. RP, I'll tell you one thing. I am from Guwahati. I speak Arunachali. People from my family have read the Arunachali news on All India Radio, and therefore I'm very attached. My question here is, and I first of all would want to congratulate Mr. Ninon Ering and the people of Arunachal Pradesh and the fantastic Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, Mr. Pema Khandu, who happens to be my junior, General Bakshi from Hindu College, Delhi University. Whenever we talk of Hindu College alumni, Pema Khandu is right there on top. I want to congratulate you on your 50 years of statehood today. My question is, Mr. Ering, we need to be cautious about China for the sake of the people of India and the people of Arunachal. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll take a very short take.
Sir.
But we are the people in Arunachal Pradesh who wear the shoe, and we know where the shoe pinches us. So let us be very straight. Let us not discuss politics. But let us pray. Let us pray and hope that the boy is safe and we want him back safely. That is the only question that I would like to ask.
Absolutely. We all pray. We all pray and he should be back.
Yes.
We all pray. Yes. General Bakshi wants to say something to you as well.
I am entirely with the sentiments of my Arunachali brothers and sisters. We are deeply concerned about our young lad, and we demand that the Chinese restore him to his family and parents at the earliest. At the earliest. Anything less than that would be a most unfriendly act. And that boy, if he has strayed across inadvertently, that's, I mean, it happens. It happens with their citizens also. We have even returned their soldier. One of the soldiers had recently strayed across, and we were told that he was psychiatrically disturbed or something.
Yeah.
We gave him back. We gave him back.
Yeah.
So we expect the Chinese to do that.
Yes.
Because not to do, not to return would be an extremely unfriendly act.
No,
and the whole nation will stand up as one man and not accept it.
Absolutely.
We demand that this boy be returned to his parents.
And I think we must not be irresponsible to do politics over it. I thank you all very much, very much. And let's stay united in dealing with China. Thank you, gentlemen.